Hi, I'm Andrew Stevenson, and in today's video we are going to be making a yoga instruction booklet slash workbook slash journal slash tracker. I'll set the document first. We were working in inches and we're going to be 8.25 by 11. All this is fine. I'll change the colour because we are going to be using colour. And I'll just put the margins on the blade in. So this is the document and this is the master page. So we are going to be setting some things up in the master page and then editing them in the actually pages tab. The first thing to do is to make this into graph paper. Now I have done videos on this in the past. I'll stick a link down in the description. But it is quite simple, just using the table tool. We are going to do 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to, let's see, I'll change all of the borders to dotted and 0.2, and I'll just drag this out across the entire page. So the dotted lines make it stand out a bit less. There you go, it's quite faint, but you can still see it and still use it. The reason I'm going for graph paper is because it looks more like a workbook or a exercise sort of tracking scientific mathsy sort of book. In reality, you could set up a few different master pages for different areas of the book. For this book, I'm just going to do it as a repeating 2 set of pages. One will be a yoga picture of the pose, the title and how to do it. And on this page will be an actual tracker. How many reps you did, for how long for, how you felt when you were doing it, what you want to focus on while you are doing your yoga, things like that. I should point out, I'm not a yoga expert either. I'm not an expert in a lot of things. I've never done yoga in my life, but these books do sell well, so that's why I'm doing it. The next thing to do is to add a frame around the pages here. Now you can do it individually on each page as you go along, but for ease's sake I'm just going to do it in the master page. There are a few different ways you can make borders as well in Affinity Publisher. The first one is just to simply draw a series of 4 rectangles and then move them around the edge of the page. In reality, you don't have to have 4 sides. You could have, just run along the top and bottom there. That's fine enough. You could have a full 4-sided border. Now, if you want to do a full 4-sided border, again, there are things you can do. In Affinity, if you own Affinity Designer or Affinity Photo, you'll see these 2 options at the top not grayed out. I own all 3 when they were on special offer, 25 quid I think each. So I've got them all, and I'll show you how to make a very quick border in Designer. So I'll click the Designer persona. This opens up in the, this is really the Designer software. And I'm just going to draw 2 rectangles. One there. And then another one inside. I'll change that colour just so you can see it. And then all I'm going to do is select them both and you'll see these options at the top. I won't go into them all we just need this one here. Click that and it punches the top shape out of the bottom shape. And that's it, that's a simple frame. Click back on Publisher and there's your frame there. Easy peasy. The other way to make a frame is to actually download one, which I've done here. Now there are a few options. Again, I got these from Creative Fabrica. I'll put a link in the description. You could have just a top and bottom like we did previous, a full four-sider, or you could just have a border on one side. Have it on every other page. So I think that I will use this one here. Just because I think this little edge piece can be nice. I can use it to put the name of the yoga pose on it. So I'll go and grab that. Just delete a few bits out of the way just so it doesn't get in my way. Control C. Control V. I'll just drag it into position. And flip it so the straight edge is up there. And keeping the shift down, I'll drag it open. And we will delete these letters. So yeah, I don't mind that. It's quite taking up a bit of the page, but I don't mind that at all. I will just select all of that and group it together, and I'll also lock it so I don't pull it apart. Again, I'll also lock the table as well. So here I'm going to have the name of the pose, I'll have a picture of the pose, and then the instruction on how to do the pose. And I'm in Master Pages, so I'm just going to set up the frames here. So I'll use a picture frame first. That big. And then I do want some text down this side. So I'll set up an artistic text tool. I'll just drag that there. Change the font to, I've got a yoga font. Again, I'll link it in the description. I just want to get the orientation right there. And then I'll probably align that to the middle of the page. And then or maybe we'll have it at the top so it just comes down like that, eh? Keep it away from the margin. So now on these pages, I should be able to add an image. Zoom out. And add a title. Perfect. And then underneath I will just put a normal text box underneath. I'm going to leave that there. And just put yoga instructions. The font I'm going to use is, I think, because I've not used it for a while and I quite like it, Courier, and I'll increase that to 16. So that's the basic setup of the left-hand side page. We'll have the title of the yoga pose there, a picture of the yoga pose, and instructions of the yoga pose. On the right-hand side of the page is going to be just a simple tracker. The idea is that the user will look through the book, choose some poses that they want to do, and track them on this side. What we could do is give it more of a theme by making it a 30-day yoga guide. So that way we know we're going to have 60 pages. We know we're going to have 30 double sides. It gives the person a goal for a month of yoga. Obviously the downside of a month of yoga is that you'll fall short if you use standard colour, you'll fall short of the 74 pages that you need to have standard colour. Premium colour is only 24, I think, but it is a lot more expensive. So if we go for a 30-day yoga plan, that'll give us 60 pages. The front page and the back page, that'll take us up to 62. Then you can add notes pages on graph paper. You could have more yoga poses at the end, maybe try more advanced ones, things like that. But I'm just going to do a 30-day one. So again. And this I will just type in day space of 30. Centralize that, and the idea is, of course, you'll go through the page and add 1, 2, 3, blah blah blah. We can change the colour of this font, seeing as we are doing it in colour. So we'll have day blank of 30. We'll probably want also the date, so I'll just draw some text boxes here. Again, I'll change this to Courier. So we want the date. And we'll change that quite large, maybe 25. Then underneath we will have something like today's focus. Have that a smidge smaller. Leave a couple of lines for that. Then we will have, I'll just make that bigger so I can see. So today's focus, pre-yoga feelings. Maybe move this down a smidge. And then here we're going to have just a simple table. So I want to fill the cells white. Or any colour you want. I'm just using white, and we will adjust the height. So the cell height, if we say, we'll say 1 centimetre, 1 centimetre. And we'll probably only want 3. We'll have pose name, reps, time. That'll do. Space for, we'll say that many. So the headings we're going to use are pose, reps, and I think yoga is measured in breaths. So I'll just type duration, and then maybe in brackets, breaths. Not breathes. I'll just change that font to, oops, not to alien counters. And I might change that top bar colour to it's a quite nice yellow. And then underneath we are going to put post yoga feelings. So I'll just copy and drag that down there. Delete all of that. Post yoga feelings. How do you feel after you've done your yoga? I'm just seeing how synchronized that is, by the way. So how do you feel after you've done your yoga? And that's simply it. Now you need to go about and find your yoga images, yoga poses, and your yoga instructions. I got these from Creative Fabrica. You can go and do the same with the links in the description. The other thing to get is yoga instructions. Now, look online if you don't know them already. Don't just copy something word for word though. Make it your own. For speed's sake, I'm just going to copy something word for word. I'll just copy and paste it in. When I come to do this book for real, I will find my own, but this is just a description for you. So that is what your double page will look like. There is a couple of things to consider. When you add your number of days, it knocks it off centre. I've just discovered that. The way to remedy that is to go back into the master page, put a double digit there, and then just move it. Then just realign it back to the centre of the page. That way, when you add your numbers in, it recenterizes it. I added 0, 1 just to help, keep the to mimic that there. And then your next page, change it to 0, 2. That's fine as it is. Then add your image in, select the frame. You can use this little slider to zoom in and out. Get your instruction. Change the title. That was the bound angle pose. As you go, you might find that you need to readjust the master page. That's fine. Let's bring that in a little bit from there, just away from the margin. So that is the basic premise of the book. You can now do what you like with adding, you know, maybe little frames around here, changing the colour of things. You are using coloured print, so if you want to use coloured print, you change the colour of the you know, your frame. Be aware that it does change all the way through the book. You could even have this colour coordinated, so you could have your first easy poses, inverted commas, easy poses in green, the next one's in amber, and the next one's in red. So we could have easy poses, beginner poses in a green colour. I'll duplicate that master. And then for the more advanced, you could have them as kind of like a more of an amber colour. And then for the more uber advanced, give them red. And then as you add more poses here, change it to master B. And then add some for master C. And then as you go, as the user goes through it, they can find each. If they're beginning, then they just go through the beginning poses. Now, obviously, it will require some research because I don't know a boat pose from a bound angle pose. You can also add adornments to each page. So if we, and this is something as simple as just draw a few triangles. Select them all, rotate them ever so slightly, shrink them down a bit. Let's change the colour of some. So just by changing the colour on the colour wheel, instead of moving my little circle, they all stay the same saturation, so they don't look out of place. And again, just select them all again. Control G to group them. Then hold down Control, copy them about the page. Then we'll select them all. And send them to the back. It just adds a bit more interest to the page. And then again, you know, you could pull them on the other side as well. It just adds a little bit of sparkle to the page. So that is it for today's show and tell. Hopefully you found it useful. I think this is a really good idea, actually. When I decided to make it, it was just an idea in my head. I didn't really have an idea what it would turn out like, but this is pretty good. I made it on the fly as well, so I apologise for any mistakes and bumbling. The video will take a lot of editing, but that's my problem, not yours. So thanks for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like and comment on the video, it really does help. If you have any questions, you know, ask in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. And again, remember, all of the assets I've used, the font, the pictures of the poses, they'll all be in the description, as will the video on how to make graph paper. Although, to be honest, just copy what I did there and it'll be fine. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time.